Do you know who the oldest player to score points in every major sport is?
Yes! 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 Yes!
Then why are you watching? Touchdowns, dingers, goals, and old balls.
Old balls? Gross.
That's right, today at 39 years young, I, Brandon Perna of That's Good Sports, will be revealing the oldest players in the major pro sports to score. Now, you may think you know some of the answers, and well, maybe you do, but there's a good amount of geriatric scorers out there that you probably forgot about. I've got the oldest touchdown scorers from touchdown passes to rushing TDs and receptions, and no, they don't all belong to Tom Brady, to the oldest goal scored in a World Cup to the oldest home run. Let's begin with the oldest NFL head coach to score with a 24-year-old woman. That would be 72-year-old Bill Belichick. Technically, he's unemployed, although he's had the look of an unemployed person his entire career. But I find the fact that this man, with this look and this personality...
Like I said, it was a disappointing season. I covered that in the opening statement, and really don't have anything to add. That's how I feel.
Is fornicating with someone 48 years younger than him fascinating? Disgusting? Fascinating? I don't know. And the reason Viagra should be banned.
Old balls? Gross.
But the real scores are coming after this. Today's show is sponsored by Good Chop. Good Chop. And my code, that's good 120. That code will get you $120 off your first 4 boxes. What's Good Chop? It's an incredible box filled with meat that you customize and select and then is delivered right to your door. I had a fresh tank of propane and I got so excited for my Good Chop USDA choice ribeyes, I forgot to record when I grilled them. And no joke, it was probably my best grill job in years. Luckily, we were planning a family dinner and my wife Jess used Good Chop's free-range organic chicken to make her chicken parm. It's honestly her best meal, and I helped by stirring the gravy. Now, I love Good Chop because the meat I receive is better than what I see at the store. And the quality cuts are more than fairly priced with Good Chop's price per meal starting at $3.32. All of the meat in your box comes with no antibiotics or added hormones ever. And it's summertime, aka grilling season, aka the best time to give Good Chop a try. So go to goodchop.com/YouTube and use my code, that's good 120, or click the link in the description to get $120 off across your first 4 boxes. That's an amazing deal. Topped with Good Chop's 100% money-back guarantee if you don't absolutely love it. I'm sure a lot of you are here for the NFL records, which is why I decided I will start with the NBA. Sorry, you gotta watch the whole fucking episode for the titillating NFL stats. But in the NBA, Kevin Durant, he's not the oldest player to score in an NBA game. He's not even the oldest player in the NBA, but I did stumble across a silly stat I wanted to inject here. Durant is probably the oldest NBA player with the burner account, but he's also the oldest player to finish an NBA game with 40 points and 0 free throw attempts. Now that happened on January 21st in 2024 when Durant was 35 years and 114 days old. I think any NBA player over the age of 35 who scores, say, 20 points with 0 free throw attempts should file a class action ageism lawsuit against the NBA. But we've got to go all the way back to 1948 for the oldest NBA player to sink a bucket in a game. Now that record belongs to Nat Hickey. He's the oldest person to ever play in the NBA, playing in 2 games for the Providence Steamrollers in 1948 at the age of 45. Now, Hickey was a coach who activated himself as a player 2 days before his 46th birthday, maybe an early birthday present, scoring 2 points in those games. For perspective, that would be like Dallas Mavericks head coach Jason Kidd, who is now 51, activating himself for a game and making 1 shot. Something I actually hope he does this upcoming season when, say, the Mavs are playing the Lakers and LeBron. Now, Michael Jordan was the oldest player to score 40 points in a game, and I find that more interesting than Nat Hickey scoring a couple points back in 1948 when black guys weren't even allowed to play in the NBA. Scoring 2 points in an NBA game without black guys playing is like beating your toddler in a spelling contest. Now, fast forward to February of 2003, and Michael Jordan, in the twilight of his career, dropped 43 points at the age of 40 on the New Jersey Nets in his Wizards uniform. The only Wizard more effective in his twilight, of course, being Gandalf. And unlike NBA players, Gandalf became more powerful when he became white. Something to think about. Now, this is interesting because LeBron James is 39 years old now and will turn 40 in December of 2024, which makes Jordan's 40 at 40 record the only record on the list in jeopardy of being broken this year. Jordan had 3 40-point games as the oldest player to ever do it, all coming in January and February of 2003. That same year, a 39-year-old Karl Malone also mailed in 40 on the Orlando Magic in March, giving Jordan and Malone the top 4 spots for the oldest 40-point scorers.
And whole milk?
Whole milk, no, nothing skim for Karl Malone.
Oh, hell no. Skim.
No low fat?
King James just had 40 points on March 31st at 39 years young, and if he has a 40-point game at any point after January 4th this upcoming season, he can steal this record from MJ. And I'm 99% sure we will see that happen.
Yes! Yes!
In a category all of his own, Jamal Crawford's the oldest NBA player to score 50 points in a game. He surpassed a 38-year-old Michael Jordan, dropping 51 on the Mavericks at age 39 back in 2019. And then there's Kobe Bryant, who of course in his final NBA game at 37 years old and 234 days scored 60 points to close out his illustrious NBA career. Sure, he took 50 shots, but even having the stamina to shoot the ball 50 times at that age is an accomplishment. Now let's slide over to the NHL, a sport where I think any 40-year-old man who can ice skate in a competitive game should be awarded the Purple Heart for his bravery. We have to break this up though into 2 categories: the NHL's oldest scorer and professional hockey's oldest scorer. If we're talking about professional hockey, then Jaromir Jagr just broke Gordie Howe's record when Jagr scored a goal for his own team in the Czech Republic. And I refuse to try and say the name of that team. I struggle with basic English. No way am I taking a stab at saying Raitiri Kalando. Jagr scored a goal skating onto the ice on his first shift at the fucking age of 52 years and 69 days old. What? 52 and he's scoring goals? Again, give him that Purple Heart, the Nobel Prize, and screw it, a Michelin star. Now, Gordie Howe scored the last old man goal at age 52 years and 6 days in 1980 for the Hartford Whalers. He also had an assist in that game, and then scored a goal on April 9th in the postseason. The Hartford Whalers were an NHL team from Connecticut before relocating and becoming the Carolina Hurricanes in 1997. The goal Gordie Howe scored in 1980 at the age of 52 still stands as the oldest goal in NHL history, and ain't nobody breaking that fucking record. More like Gordie Howe just score that goal, huh? Right, guys? While I don't want to take anything away from what Jagr just did, Howe's goal at 52 in the NHL is one of the most impressive accomplishments in defiance of Father Time ever. That was his 801st career goal, which was an NHL record for most career goals until Wayne Gretzky broke it in 1994. But the most impressive hockey record, of course, still belongs to one Happy Gilmore.
And I was the only guy to ever take off his skate and try to stab somebody.
Baseball. Shortstop Charlie O'Leary has a double old man record for the MLB. Despite not playing professional baseball for 21 years, O'Leary came out of retirement to play a little ball for the St. Louis Browns in 1934. In that game, Charlie singled as a pinch hitter, becoming the oldest player to get a hit and score a run in a Major League Baseball game. Now, he was 58 years old and 15 days shy of being 59 at the time. That's 9 years older than Jamie Moyer when he last took the bump for Colorado in 2012. And somehow, yes, Moyer did win a game at 49 despite throwing at the speed of a decent Little League pitcher. More recently, Julio Franco of the New York Mets became the oldest player in Major League history to rip a home run. Helping the Mets defeat the San Diego Padres in 2006, Franco was 47 years old when he got that dinger. And later on that season, September 30th, Julio homered again down by the schoolyard against Washington. A 3-run shot to top his own age record. So yeah, dad strength is a very real thing. Now, perhaps the greatest old man season in recent MLB history belongs to Red Sox slugger David Ortiz, who in 2016 announced he would retire at age 40 and went on to hit .315 with 38 home runs and led the AL with 127 RBIs. Big Papi was a legitimate MVP candidate in his 20th MLB season. The oldest active player is 41-year-old Astros pitcher Justin Verlander, who still currently has an ERA under 4, and he's doing much better than certain other Justins in their early 40s. You can't bring sexy back with DUIs, Justin. How about soccer? Am I qualified to talk about soccer? No, but it's the most popular sport on earth, and the oldest dude to score in a World Cup has a great story. Roger Milla scored a goal in the World Cup at the age of 42 years and 39 days old. That was for Cameroon, and Milla scored against Russia in the group stages of the 1994 World Cup. Anytime you can score against Russia and not mysteriously disappear the next day, that's another win. He's the only guy to get a World Cup goal over the age of 40, and the only reason it happened is because the president of Cameroon, Paul Biya, made him. Now, Milla retired from international play in 1987 at age 35, but in 1990, Cameroon qualified for the 1990 FIFA World Cup, and after seeing Milla in a charity match, the president thought he could help the team, and he was right. But it was 4 years later in the next World Cup that Milla was still milling around scoring that old balls goal in a 6-1 loss to Russia. Now, soccer's a bit harder to track because of its global presence and its plethora of leagues, but I believe Kazuyoshi Miura is the oldest active player to score a goal in a pro match. Now, he's currently 57 years old, and the only dude to play in 5 separate decades spanning from the 80s to the 2020s. I believe the last time he scored, though, was in 2022, so he was 55 years old when he kicked in his last goal. He recently extended his contract with the Portuguese team, so he's still kicking in his late 50s and could top his own record this year. Maybe. He hasn't scored in a while.
Loose skin and old balls.
And then here we are, the NFL. What you all waited for, or fast forwarded to. I don't know. How much do you like me? Not that much? Fine. Fair. Tom Brady. We know. He's the oldest NFL player to score a touchdown in an NFL game at the age of 45 and 151 days when he rushed for a 1-yard touchdown against the Carolina Panthers on January 1st, 2023. That's right, while Giselle was practicing jiu-jitsu, Tom Brady was becoming the oldest player in NFL history with the rushing TD. That 1-yard TD, though, isn't nearly as impressive as the 432 yards and 3 touchdowns Brady threw, making him the most geriatric QB to throw for more than 400 yards in a game. However, he is not the oldest player to throw a touchdown pass in an NFL game. That record belongs to George Blanda, who at the ripe old age of 47 years and 88 days threw a 28-yard strike to Cliff Branch to help the Raiders beat the Dallas Cowboys 27-23. That was his only completion in the game, but Blanda was also 2 for 3 on field goals that day and made all 3 of his extra points, including the one after his 28-yard passing touchdown. Now, Blanda's a fascinating Hall of Fame NFL player because he played in the league for 26 years, both as a quarterback and a kicker. At 43, though, Blanda threw 2 touchdown passes and kicked a 48-yard field goal in the championship game that his Raiders lost to the Baltimore Colts. But I feel safe saying no other player will ever throw multiple touchdowns or kick a 40-plus yard field goal in the same game at the age of 43. And at the age of 48, Blanda also kicked a 41-yard field goal against the Steelers in the 1975 AFC Championship game, also making him the oldest player to kick a field goal in an NFL game. And if you look at him, he looks closer to 100 than he does 48 when he was doing that. Now, the oldest receiving touchdown in NFL history belongs to one Jerry Rice, who caught his final touchdown pass against the New York Jets in December of 2004 at the age of 42 years and 67 days, sans his mother's womb. The legendary Seattle Seahawk nearly played a 21st NFL season with the Denver Broncos in 2005, but decided to hang it up before training camp ended. His son, Brendan, will have to play until 2045 if he wants to outdo his old man. And while Brendan has no chance of breaking his father's career receiving records, he could possibly outproduce his dad's 3 touchdown receptions as a rookie that Jerry Rice had back in 1985. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports Old Man episode. If you want more old man content, please tell me which old dude I should talk about next in the comments. Tell me about those old guys. We like old guys, don't we?